My car's a 1963 Mercedes 190 SL. I actually bought it through a car dealer, and I've unfortunately only been able to track it back to the year 2000. It's actually had 3 owners in that time, apart from me. I'm trying very hard to actually track it back. I know it was a left-hand delivery, and possibly into the United States, judging by the reflectors that are on the back. So it's actually a dream come true to own this car.
Oh, okay. It's a Australian delivery 1962 model. I bought this in February this year down in Melbourne. I actually had a 1959 model which I bought in 1980 and had for a few years and sold that. And ever since I've been wanting to get another 190. So I spent about 6 months looking at cars all around Australia. Looked at about 6 or 7 different cars in Queensland and Victoria and New South Wales. Originally I wanted to get something that was quite original. So I settled on this car because it had all the original engine gear and the Solvex carbies, and had virtually no rust, and was basically in very good original condition.
This car is a hand-built vehicle, and the men who designed it and some of the men who actually built it were working at Mercedes-Benz before the Second World War. And the designer of this model was involved with the design of pre-war Mercedes, the Grosses and the big cars. It's the last of this model, the D, sometimes called the Adenauer model because Chancellor Adenauer, the 50s had this.
In the background is your car. Now, can you tell me a little about when you first bought the car and what it was like in those days, Nick?
I bought a car in 1984 for Lakemba, and the car is still registered, still drivable. It needs a lot of work, and I'll take it back in my own shop because I got the smash repairs. And I stripped the car complete, everything off, and I got one of my panel beaters who's retired, and I bring it back. He's working for 7 months in the straight in the car in 7 months, and the stripped it, put everything back together.
How much did you spend on it, Nick?
Close to $100,000.
Successful day. We were able to iron a lot of little glitches out from last year and the year before, and we're finally getting a very, very good system. It's working particularly well. We learned a little bit more today, I think, and we'll be putting them to writing, and we'll be remembering them in 12 months' time when the whole thing is done again.
Best we've had for several years,
yes,
I would say. We had something for everyone here today.
The committee has worked so well.
Literally the only cars we didn't have were gull wings, and they were supposed to be here, but you can't force people.
This is a 1986 model, built on the 100th year of Mercedes-Benz. It has 5.6 litre motor, never driven at more than 250 on the highway. I bought it new about 19 years ago. It's been good fun owning this car because when it was first out it was a very fast car, and it still really is today. Yeah. The guy that's going to buy this off me, he will be laughing because he'll have a car that he probably drive for 8 years, he won't spend a cent on it. And if it drops 10,000 on it even in 8 years, and the fun he'll have with it, and he might even have it longer.
Yeah. And Rima, tell me a bit about your red Cabriolet. What's the history of that? How long have you had it?
I bought it about 10 years ago. I bought it off Cass. What's his name? Stan Cass's son. Stan Cass's son. Yeah. I was actually looking for a 280 SL for my wife, and going through the Herald, and I just happened to see the cab, 1960 cab. So bought it there and then. Well, they're not known for their speed or their performance, but they're known for their styling. I think that timber dash is just magnificent. You know, it's you know, an import, or if you will, it's a handover from the 30s, and it's the last ones in the 50s that still had that sort of finish. And I think the finish in that car is just fantastic. All the chrome, you know, the sort of Baroque look is just fantastic.
And what do you know about the figures that they made, all that sort of information?
Well, we all know they made 1,100 of those, of the SEs, and they made 800 coupes. It was one of the smarter moves I ever made.
This one nearly 4 years, Ray. I bought this off Ben DeBoer, who was the president of the club. When he bought his CL 500, I bought this one off him. Beautiful car, 1992 model, midnight blue. It's a 4.2 litre V8, 210 kilowatt. Smooth as silk to drive, probably the nicest car I've ever driven except for Ben's new CL. It's a very, very nice motor car. It's cleaned up today, hopefully to win something on the day. Since Ben took over the presidency about 2 years ago, I've been doing the club shop. We've introduced a lot of new items into the shop. They seem to be selling very well, and members seem to like it.
What do you think of the day so far, ladies?
It's been absolutely fantastic.
You're camera shy. I think it's been a fantastic day, and I think it's all down to the organisers. I think they've, you know.
Especially the shop.
Especially the shop.
Just
The shop has done.
Michael and Don just do such a good job, don't they, Jane?
They do.
Tell me about what they do.
No, I wouldn't know. What do they do? Oh, they sell things, yes.
So where's your car? What car do you have here?
BMW.
BMW?
Better cut that one out.
This has been fabulous today. I mean, we've been so lucky with the weather again, but the cars, it's been such a wide variety of cars, from Ziggy's over there, which is absolutely magnificent, the 1938 Cabriolet.
Ziggy, you've got a reputation for the restoration of the older cars. Can you tell me a little bit about the year this was made and anything special about it when they came out?
Yeah. Well, that particular model is 230 Cabriolet A, two-seater 1938. Yeah.
Now tell me a bit about when you purchased it and what it was like when you bought it.
Well, that car originally comes from England, and the car was in this country in 70s, and I bought the car in pieces, like in boxes, you know, and took me to restore the car all up 7,000 hours. And because the car was, somebody already convert bit to right-hand drive, but originally the car was left-hand drive. Mean the second restoration was a convert back to left-hand drive, and now the car is like should be. 100 boxes, parts been there, and it took me to 6 months to separate the parts before I even start do the restoration. And, you know.
Now, Ziggy, just looking back, what was the most difficult area you had?
The hood.
Okay, describe that.
The hood, because the hood was no hood. There is no template, nothing. I have to make the hood, and I'm not trim. I have to make the hood using, all this. I make the template myself, and it takes a lot of time to learn how to sewing, and with the canvas. And it took me 6 months to figure out how the hood look original. And
tell me about the motor, Ziggy. Yeah. What was the most difficult part there in actually bringing that back?
The motor is that was not that difficult because it's only 6-cylinder engine, 2.3, and a lot of parts I have to restore. Or most on that car is nearly everything original. It's no any new parts. All old parts was recycled and restored. On that car, I have lucky I find the real lights in America. It costs a lot of money. That the lights, that lenses, that's all. There's no parts for that car. From the research, it was maybe particularly Cabriolet A, 50 cars, and it only exists. I researched myself. There are only 4 cars exist, particularly that model, Cabriolet A. That's all.
It's the only one in Australia, I presume?
Yeah, there's few in Germany, and American is someone in England and one maybe in America, particularly that model, that Cabriolet A.
So what happens now? Now that it's finished?
Now it's finished, well, just I'm looking for another project, but I can't find anything that sort of in that style. Maybe I need holiday.
Would everyone come forward, please? The quality of the cars has been better than they've been for a lot of years. The display cars have been better than they've been for a lot of years. There's been a lot of them and a lot of different types, and I thank everyone for bringing them here. If you don't win, don't be upset. Your car was still good. The quality of the car was, for the judges, was just extremely hard to judge. But now I hand you over to Mark Revagoni, and he will announce the winners. Thank you.
the new members, I think especially, get involved. Even if you don't think your car is going to win, it's a wonderful exercise to be involved in the concours. So yeah, volunteer, put your hand up, even if you just help the judges or run around on the day if you don't put a car in. It really is a great experience. You meet people and you learn a lot.
How'd you do it, Rob? What's the story? How do you manage this?
Hard work. He whips it pretty hard.
Well, the timber, everything had to be taken out. The car was stripped bare on the inside. Everything was completely redone. We got new leather, new carpet, and we had a really good upholsterer. A true craftsman do that work, but we did a lot of the fitting up. And as you saw for yourself, what the car actually turned out like.
Class 24, Champion of Champions. And the winner is a black 1959 220 SE owned by Mr. and Mrs. Nicola.
Hey Nick, you've done it again.
You're famous, Nick. Congratulations.
Thanks. You coming to the annual dinner? You've got to come to the annual dinner now.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there is a special award every year, and that's the President's Award. And of course,
Congratulations.
I give this award out
It was worth all that money.
And this year, that award is going to this magnificent blue 230A Cabriolet from Ziggy, 1938 model. Where's Ziggy? We're just so pleased to have this car here today, because I believe it's the only one in Australia. There's only a couple in the world. Congratulations, Ziggy, to the President's Award.
Now yes, the big one, the outright award. The winner is a white 1957 300D owned by Ben DeBoer.
This is all fixed, I think.
Is Ben DeBoer in the audience anyway?
I think it was one of the best concourses we have ever had. It was well run, it flowed, it was easy. There was no hassles, there was no tension on the day. It was just fantastic. I was just so pleased to see everything just roll. And as a nice bonus, I got outright winner. And now that's a bonus. New members coming in the club, if they would today, was a good example. We had some new members won prizes or got second, like in the 107 class. Ian, for example, he got a second. He was just elated, and he'll get his car up to standard next year, and he'll probably win it. He knows what to do now, and we encourage any new members, and we encourage young members to do exactly the same.
Watch out for that car in front of you.
Yeah?
Oh, you